best 8 minutes of your life coming up.
We guarantee.
We'll see about that. No.
Fair enough. We all will.
Jacob, Harlan, Kaniehtiio, hey, congratulations on this new series for Shoresy.
Thank you.
So I guess the biggest question is why another spin-off? I mean this is a terrific show though. So, but what sparked you guys to like say, hey, we need another one from this Letterkenny world?
Well, I mean, it's a combination of things. I would say we had the opportunity because we had thankfully had a successful show. And so people weren't closed off to the idea. And this was the story Jared wanted to tell. He wanted to do a hockey show. And so Shoresy was the voice, was the avenue to telling a show about hockey.
Well, most excellent. But I guess one of the things that there was always that mystique about Shoresy because we never really see him in Letterkenny. It's almost like trying to make a show about, I don't know, like Master Chief in Halo and taking off his helmet. But talk about, in this case, why it is such a good idea to finally reveal to the world who Shoresy is.
Well, I think there's two things there. One is Shoresy looks a lot like Wayne, and so we didn't want to confuse people about that or have to deal with any version of, are they supposed to be brothers? And it was a fun way to get Jared to do a little cameo and kind of, there was a lot of logistic stuff that went into it. It made our lives easier. But there was no doubt if we're going to do a show called Shoresy, we're going to see the guy's face. I mean, at some point, it's not the Mandalorian. We have to reveal his face. It doesn't make sense for him to always be wearing a darkened visor. So yeah, it was like that was the opportunity. That was the fun. Here we are. Here's Shoresy for real now. And I think it takes him from being, obviously on Letterkenny, Shoresy's kind of a one-dimensional chirp machine. And on this show, he's a real person. He becomes a character, and hopefully you get to know him and understand him. And hopefully by the end of the 6 episodes, it's clear why we wanted to tell this story.
Harlan, what drew you into a project like this for yourself to play Sagonet?
Well, I was always a huge fan of Letterkenny, right? And it's actually crazy. My uncle got me started on Letterkenny, and it was actually on YouTube, the Best of Shoresy compilation. And so it was after that, I was like, okay, well, I got to see the rest of this. And then, hearing Tana saying like Skoden, do this, I was like, all right, now I'm sold. Let's go. And just getting the audition for it. And it didn't even click right away. I was like, oh, Shoresy, this must be something. And then I was like, oh shit, it's Shoresy, Letterkenny. And then I just I had to do this. I had to be on the show.
Harlan,
he started blackmailing all of us early on. He said he had pictures of things that we didn't want people to see. And so eventually it just made more sense to hire him and try to rob him while he was with us so we could take back that blackmail evidence, which worked out.
Yeah.
Now, I think one of the greatest things about this show is the introduction of female owners into hockey. Otherwise, then it would just be too much testosterone on a show like this. I'm assuming, Kaniehtiio, that you had a hand to partake into the story with this. Something.
I had absolutely no hand in the storyline of anything. I was just there to no, that's all Jared, seriously. And I just was there to sort of make sure that the Indigenous representation was as authentic as possible. And, even so, I didn't really even have to, there was nothing I had to be like, absolutely not. Absolutely. It was always something was presented to me. And I was like, okay, maybe if you add this and this, it will make this shine even brighter. Like having Harlan's character, like once they start playing games and he's dressed up and everything, he's in a beautiful suit and
bolo tie.
Bolo tie, a big medallion, and his hair braided. And I was like, just trust me on this one. The ladies are going to love this. But yeah, I was just sort of there to make sure that it was all kind of as authentic as possible. And, honestly, my job wasn't that hard. It was actually really.
Don't tell people that.
Okay, sorry. Oh God, it was grueling.
There you go.
But also with talking about the women in the series and being a woman on Letterkenny, where there is just as much testosterone on the show. I told the ladies, I was like, I know you guys feel outnumbered, but guess what? You guys are the bosses. You guys are in charge. So be those boss bitches. And I said that like a couple nights before they went to camera. And I was like, just own it. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, own it. You got this.
I think representation is all around on the show because you not only you brought in Indigenous women, people from Quebec, French, everything. Jacob, great job.
I think it's just I think it's hockey in Canada, and if there wasn't Indigenous people on the show or French people on the show, or women, because there are women part of hockey, there are hockey moms, there are hockey team owners. I think that it would have been doing a disservice to what the truth is of hockey in Canada if those things weren't included.
Mm-hmm. Like we've been working with, it's especially in terms of as the journalists too, like we've been working with Tessa Bonhomme for years. Like we've been working with female hockey players, like they play our sports reporters on the show. These are Olympians, these are champions. We're like, if you're doing a real hockey stuff, it's exactly what Theo said. You're going to have Indigenous people. You're going to have French people. That's what Canadian hockey is made up of. And women are everywhere too. So yeah, even if they're not on the ice at that moment, they're still part of the fabric of that story, of the reality of that story. We're not shoehorning anybody in. Great. And one last thing, I'll give Harlan the last word here. That's your mistake, friend.
That mistake.
Harlan, how happy are you that you didn't really have to play any hockey?
Really happy. Really happy. I can skate, do a few things in here and there, but I'm no ex-pro or I'm not in some big league or anything like that. That should be my brother, and that's actually the thing that helped my brother being able to understand like the chirping and stuff, and like saying NCAA instead of NCAA or anything like that. So like, I'm glad I'm not playing hockey, but I'm glad I understand like the game.
Most excellent. Well, everyone, this is a very hilarious show. I'm glad you've done this, Shoresy, and can't wait to see more. Most definitely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.